Everybody, welcome to Life According to Logan, and I decided to go to the park and walk around. Hopefully I'm within view and hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to try and speak up. There are a lot of people here today, which will make me feel a little weird. If they see me filming and whatever, I got to get over that. So anyways, I got sent home by Prime, and I'm going to tell you why. So Wednesday, February 28th, I had my testing to hopefully earn my CDL. The inspection part was first, and I passed that with flying colors. I didn't miss a single thing. I was very confident in that. The only part of it that made me nervous was the air brakes portion, because you can't miss a single thing on that or you fail it. So I passed that, flying colors. The next part was the maneuvers parts. And I apologize if this is like bouncing all over the place. I'll see if I can't find a place to sit down for a minute. So there's 4 maneuvers you have to do. And so the first 3, I nailed them. That 4th one got me all messed up. And I failed it that day. So Wednesday I was feeling pretty bummed. And I thought, gosh, I can't go home empty-handed. I really want this. I've been working hard, even on my days off. My Saturdays where my trainer, he has the day off. Well, I came in. I said, hey, man, is it okay if I come in and practice my my inspection stuff on your day off? He said, yeah. So I did not take a day off. I might have taken half the day off to myself, to watch a movie and relax. But, I took it seriously. I took it as if my life depended on it, And in a way it kind of did, because I didn't want to go home empty-handed without a CDL, because I need a job and I want a career for the first time in my life. So I was feeling pretty disappointed in myself. And, my trainer, who I was very fortunate to get him. He was awesome. I'm not going to put his name on here because not everyone wants their name, and their identity put out there on the internet. So I'm not going to do that out of respect for him. But I was very happy to get him. He was really calm, collected, and he says, is it disappointing? Yeah. It's disappointing, but it's okay because you got 2 more chances. And did the world end? Did you die? No, it's not the end of the world. So I went in Friday and we practiced and we tweaked. There's a couple ways that I gotta collect my thoughts here. They have figured out what you need to look at certain points and before you do things, and you trust the process and you get in there. And we found out that on 2 of the important movements that kind of back you into it, I was going not far enough on the one side and too far on the other. So when we fixed that, problem solved, So then Friday, which was March 1st, so yesterday, I had to come in again. And of course, once you pass the section, you don't have to do that one again. So I didn't have to worry about the inspection part. I just had to get through that, the maneuvers. And I'm not going to lie, I was real nervous on that 4th maneuver because it's so easy once you get into the box to just mess up left and right, which is what I did the first time. I didn't test until about 11. My trainer had me come in at 9, and we practiced a little bit more so that I could, get my nerves, kind of back down. And then it was my time, and I'm not going to lie, I was saying little prayers. I'm working so hard, I'm not asking for much, just kind of meet me where I need to be met to get through this today. Excuse me, it's a little windy out. And, my prayers worked, and I passed that fourth maneuver. So I passed that section. I almost didn't because I was pretty crooked in there, but I was in the box. And then when I first stopped, and I had already done my one get out and look, because you have to have your back bumper in that box. And I was in that box, but I was in the far part of the box. And then up front, it was like this, and that front wheel, that stud was over the line that much. And I didn't know if that was going to be an auto fail or not. So and I sat there and I thought about it for a second. And I'm like, you know what? I have enough room inside that box behind me to pull forward just like an inch or 2. do a kind of a hard left on that and just get me over. So I did that. I moved an inch or two and then straightened out the wheel, and I had to hold on to the wheel because if I let go, the wheel went like this and it kind of touched the line. So I held on to it. I put myself in, I parked in neutral, and I honked my horn to let him know that I'm done. And then he just walks up, you know, and I see him walking. He didn't say nothing to me. And I'm like, oh shit. So I turn it off and I get out and I hurry up and ask him because I see my trainer coming. And I was like, hey man, you know, did I fail it again? He's like, no, you're good. And I was like, oh God, thank goodness, thank you. You know, so I sat down there for a minute and I let him walk up to my trainer, and then I see my trainer go, okay. So then he walked up, he's like, I told you you had it, you know? And I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, go ahead and get in. And he went and parked because it's not an instructor, the guy who does the testing, he had to test another student on their inspection and stuff. So I waited, and I had enough time, you know, to just relax. I'm sorry, I keep sniffing. I forgot to bring myself something to wipe my nose with, so I don't like that sniffle thing either, so I apologize. Anyways, so I went inside, and there was like a bunch of people there because they got a whole bunch of new students, and they're all watching me because like they heard me and they're going, man, I hope I don't fail this, you know, blah blah blah, and they were all watching me. Thankfully, at the moment that I was doing it, I wasn't even thinking about that at all. So my nerves were focused on me not messing up what I need to do and trust that process to get me in the box, straightened out, and good to go. So I did that, and then another guy came out, and he's like, oh, you know, because my trainer parked me, and then I was going to go walk inside, and one of the guys come out, and he's like, oh, did you get it? We didn't hear you honk the horn. I was like, oh, I did. I just barely. It was like a real light. I was like, I got it. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, we were all watching you, man. Like, we were hoping you get it. So I got to say this, the camaraderie of the students there and the faculty at Prime is great. I think I'm going to do maybe another video about just my whole experience with the training process, because everyone has a different experience, so I'm not going to do that this time though. So then it was my turn to do the drive, and I did not want to get myself like, oh, this is the easiest part, because the day I went to the pad till that day, so many guys got to that part on their first day and was like, oh, this is the easy part, and they would come back early from the drive and they failed something. They either weren't going fast enough, was most of it. They were going 10 under the speed limit, or they weren't going fast enough on a turn. You can't go under 5 miles an hour through a turn, because otherwise you're obstructing the driving and all that. And then I watched this one guy, Romaine the trucker, and he was at Pittston. I missed him by like a day. When I came in, he was going out. And he failed his first one on the drive because there's this part where you got to stop, and then there's this like right at the intersection, there's like this driveway where I think it's they sell cars and stuff. They go out, you can't stop in there, and so he failed right off the gate. That's like 2 turns out the place, so it can happen. So I went ahead, did the drive, and when you get back into the yard, they have this thing. It's called the victory lap. So if you come in and you park right away, you know you failed. But if they ask you to go around and do the railroad part, because they have like a like painted railroad tracks, because there aren't any along the path, so you got to like simulate a railroad crossing what you do. If you get to that, you've passed. So it's your victory lap. And so I went ahead and I did that victory lap. I did my part with the railroad tracks, and he said, okay, go ahead and pull up around, park in front of the building. And my trainer was already out there waiting for me. And so I got out and he came around, and I was like, I got to do my victory lap, you know? And I was so happy. I was like, man, I'm so happy. He's like, oh, congratulations. And he actually gave me a hug. So, yeah, I was real happy. He's like, congratulations. I knew you got it. No, we just got to get your paperwork. So I got my paperwork done. I got my purple badge through Prime. They gave me this this hat because I'm going to be in the reefer. And then they sent me home that night. And so I'm here in my home state, and I'm just enjoying this nice day. I'm doing some steps around here and just enjoying the views. And I'm just thanking my lucky stars. I'm glad that my prayer was answered. I always think about, if you've made it this far, thank you, by the way. I think I'm just like going on and on, but I always think of one of my favorite books growing up that I had to read in school, but I really liked it, was Where the Red Fern Grows. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's this boy. I can't remember if they're in Virginia or something, but they're out in the mountains and stuff. And It's like back in the cabin days, you know, the log cabin days and stuff this is based in. And he really wants to get some hound dogs so he can go raccoon hunting and then enter this competition. And so he goes into the general store, and I always believed that it was his grandfather. But he goes into the general store and he's like, man, I've been praying and praying to God for these hound dogs, and I ain't got them yet. And he says, well, what are you doing to get them? And he's like, well, what do you mean, you know? And he says, well, you got to meet God halfway. You got to do your part, and he'll meet you halfway. Otherwise, he's doing all the work. You know, so I was just reminding myself of that. You know, I got to say my prayers, but if I haven't put in the work to show that I want it and my due diligence, you know, one incentive do I have for my prayer to be answered and my hard work to go, you know, forward? You know, that's just me. It's a perspective that I try to hold on to. Maybe you'll get something out of that. I don't know. Gosh, it is windier than I thought it'd be. I really hope you can hear me. I'm so sorry if it sounds like wind or whatever. If it's that bad, I'll just refilm this inside somewhere. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and continue my walk. I really appreciate anyone who's made it this far in the video. If you want to, go ahead and give it a like. You know, put something in the comments. Anything you want. Just please don't be like disrespectful to people around you. You know, I haven't had to delete any messages yet or anything, so I really like to keep that streak going. If you're new here and you'd like to watch my my videos from here on out, because I will be uploading during my training process, just go ahead and give a follow. I'd really appreciate that. I'm still waiting for a trainer, but you know, I've only been here home a day. I still got to go to the DMV to turn in my stuff, and I have an appointment for tomorrow because they're not open Saturdays or Sundays. And yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. I am so stoked that I get to finally have like my first ever chosen career, like an actual career and not just a job. I'm looking forward to learning how to be a truck driver now. I got a long way to go, but I got 50,000 miles to do it in. All right, thank you so much, and take care.